Well, it's interesting. The fashion industry, it's getting more and more unsustainable as time goes on. So 150 billion pieces are being produced every single year. What's very sad is 3/5 of those clothes are making it into the landfill within the first year of its life. So a massive amount of waste globally. Also, the materials that those clothes are made of are becoming more and more unsustainable. There's a big microplastic problem in the oceans. 30% of that is from fashion. A report says that their people work 16-hour days, 7 days a week for less than 10 dirhams per day. And the clothing industry is the second biggest industry for child labor. There's 160 million children on this planet who are currently working when they should be in school, and the fashion industry is almost solely responsible for that.
Good morning and welcome to another session of our IAMNOTPLASTIC podcasts. So it gives me great pleasure to have as a special guest today Jennifer Sault from Thrift for Good, so which has been one of our dearest and greatest partners for the past 4 or 5 years. 5 years, I think. Yeah, so yeah, welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me here today, Peter. We're happy to be here.
So as I mentioned, the idea of us engaging and having this little chat is to spread the word, to share some of the best practices that we both our organization have been done, and then to see how we can further contribute and support each other to make Earth a better place to live, and then convert more and more people to be more sustainable and so on eventually. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
so. As we all know, Thrift for Good promotes sustainable fashion. So please, if you'll be kind enough to share with us how Thrift for Good is doing that, and then what are some of the milestones and achievements, and how can we all contribute that? Sorry, it's 3 questions, but then, yeah.
Yes, of course. So just to start out, Thrift for Good, as many people know, we're charitable pre-loved clothing stores here. And in Dubai, it's a new concept. There aren't nearly enough organizations in this space. So we take in pre-loved clothes. We're zero waste in how we process it. We sell everything, and we donate 100% of our profits to support children's charity projects around the world. So in terms of sustainable fashion, I'm so proud and excited that we can bring it to Dubai. We can create a way for people to be able to contribute their clothes, knowing that it's going to be spared from the landfill, it's going to be reused, it's going to be recycled if it's end of life. And to date, so we process about 250 items through our store every single day, and and we're up to 100 tons that we've actually been able to save from the landfill within the last few years, which is fantastic. And that figure is growing every single day, which is wonderful. Yeah.
Amazing! Wow. So it's just it literally takes you by surprise when you see how when you think that something as little as that can have such a big impact.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what has been some of your major challenges in this endeavor?
Yes. So I think the challenge has been the opportunity in many ways, in that clothing recycling doesn't exist here yet, in that we've been building a system, a way to process it in Dubai, and bringing sustainable fashion to the UAE. So it's very exciting to be championing that. But we have, of course, the challenges have been creating new systems, creating ways to be able to process clothes in a zero waste way. So I'm glad that we're able to do it. It's been very rewarding, and it's keeping up, because there's so much clothing here yet that needs a sustainable process, that needs to be rehomed sustainably. Yeah.
Jennifer, do people recycle clothes here? How does it work here? Because I know it's a very consumerist-based market. So how does it work?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. The fashion industry, it's getting more and more unsustainable as time goes on. So more and more clothing is produced every single year to meet demand. And there's a lot of pressure, especially on fast fashion brands, to mass produce for the cheapest price every single season, which means 150 billion pieces are being produced every single year, What's very sad is 3/5 of those clothes are making it into the landfill within the first year of its life. So a massive amount of waste globally. And also the materials that those clothes are made of are becoming more and more unsustainable. So inclusion of toxic dyes, which of course pollute the waters when in production, when we wash it, the polyesters, the plastic fibers that, there's a big microplastic problem in the oceans. 30% of that is from fashion, and other things like the human conditions as well about clothing production, making the price as low as possible. The biggest online fast fashion brand report says that their people work 16-hour days, 7 days a week for less than 10 dirhams per day. And the clothing industry is the second biggest industry for child labor. There's 160 million children on this planet who are currently working when they should be in school, and the fashion industry is almost solely responsible for that. So there's, yes, overconsumption. Definitely the way most people integrate with fashion right now is dead wrong. It's, about buying the latest trends, this, that, wearing a few times and throwing it away. So I'm so happy secondhand offers a solution. We don't want people to stop shopping. It brings joy, it brings all of this, but doing it more mindfully. And secondhand allows the guilt-free ability to almost share wardrobes, to use the resources that are on our planet and keep them going for as long as possible. Yeah.
Well, it's great you mention that because, I mean, prior to me arriving to Dubai, I could see I'm from Romania, so in my country, there was, after 1990s, there was a big influx of second-hand shops, so again,
Yeah.
giving life to some used clothes. But then when I came here, it was nothing. Here, I think the easiest way to get rid of some of the clothes will be just to throw them. But then the last 10, 15 years, I see more and more boxes, charity boxes, that they are in the corner of your street. So you can dispose the clothes there, and eventually someone will
Yes.
make use of them. But yeah, I still think that that's still not the best solution for the clothes. So what you do is,
Yeah.
yeah, it will be amazing to see. Definitely to have a look in my wife's cupboard and see what else is there
Yeah, what she
to
doesn't
bring.
want
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly,
And next
exactly.
time she wants to
And
shop,
then spread the world. Yeah, okay.
yeah, she can save a lot of money shopping secondhand, and we offer perfect condition clothing in our store. So she won't be disappointed. She's not
Yeah.
compromising by shopping secondhand.
We have no problem with
And
that,
yeah.
So for me, especially, I wish there was some shop where they sell all the winter gear, So
We
take it or
do?
leave it,
Oh my
take it
gosh,
or
we
leave
do.
it, and then by the time I go on holiday, just you use something and then you're not gonna use it for another year. And sometimes I love the ski Dubai because you just rent the clothes and then you bring them back, and then that's another way to look at it if you're not that
It's a good
sensitive
system.
about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah, and it is just to touch on the charity boxes here. So yes, they go to help people, but I know with us we guarantee that it's zero waste. One of the problems with charitable donations on the planet is oftentimes the charities will make money by renting the bin to a private company who batches it up, sells it in bulk. It's opened and a lot of it will end up in landfill in countries without the capacity to process those clothes. So that's why I am biased.
Well,
Bring it to us because we'll make sure none of it goes to
we had a
landfill.
discussion before this
Yeah.
video about what happened to my country, how we collected so much waste from Western countries
Yeah.
because it was cheaper for them to just dump them in the landfill in Romania versus recycle it and so on in their own country. So,
Exactly.
and I guess the same happened now in lots of Asian countries, so where the waste
Absolutely.
is being
Yeah.
well, in our range, we have all the sustainable materials that we do, and then one of our mission was always to educate our clients, like to use, first of all, not to use a plastic item, and if you have to use something which is disposable, use something which is more eco-friendly or more friendly with the environment, one.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is use less of it. I think that was the biggest mission, and I think that's what I love to see when we have a best practice to share with our partners, because I don't call them clients, is oh yeah, did you know that by increasing awareness to baristas at so and so coffee shop, they learn more about that the coffee cup is made of FSC certified paper, and it can be recycled. And by doing so, they reduce the consumption of cups, wastage of cups by 15%. And that's a big factor, two-way factor. First of all, we're using less disposables, but also the cost factor, because some of these goods, they cost more than conventional plastics to produce, and obviously there is a gap there, and lots of times the pressure comes on the bottom line. So that's what we have to do, So But because clothes are made of plastic, and so much plastic is in, I think there is so many applications of this plastic that we can all use. And plastic, until 3 4 years ago, I was like, oh, plastic, I cannot hear plastic word because I will be, oh, I hate plastic. But then, if you think back, it's aluminum, it's paper, it's metal, iron, whatever it is. Those are some resources,
Yeah.
because we have so much plastic and very little is being recycled now. The studies show, and we learned that to use recycled plastic is 30% better in terms of carbon footprint than a virgin plastic.
Good.
And then worldwide, the average is 12% of plastic being recycled, if depending on which study you look, depending on which part of the world you are into. And then some of the direction that we're looking at now was also to see how we can incorporate those recyclable materials into our product range, all right? So
Yes.
then we can move ahead with the times, and how we evolve certain products from what they were to becoming more sustainable, more eco-friendly, and that's why we localize production also here for the bags, as you've seen.
Yeah.
So
Which is very exciting, and also minimizing the carbon footprint, getting them here, and
correct.
all of those outputs. That's
You
really
using the
exciting.
cassava bag, for example, for your, but we also launched this bio-vegetable potato starch bags, which is again a home and garden composting material, but it gives us more angles to look at the range of the bags that we have to provide solutions. And
Yeah.
we happily have to say that we're using less of material to produce certain bags, all right? So with no offense to the cassava bag, which is amazing, but this has complemented the range of cassava products which we could not reach in certain segments, So,
Yeah.
so as mentioned, we'll be happy to host your team and show them a little bit of our new range and see how they're being made, which is going
Yeah.
to be very educational here at our
I
factory in
sense a
Dubai.
field trip coming on. I know our
Yes.
team would love to learn more, because those bags, it's a central piece to our work. It's our branding. When a customer leaves our store, they leave with one of the Avani bags, and I'm so proud that it says "I am not plastic," and people know it's something sustainable from A to Z. It's really it's an integral part of our day to day.
That's very, very,
Yeah.
very, very, very good.
Yes.
Okay, so part of one of the biggest missions was is a charity organization. It's
Yes.
for you to support a certain charity. All right, so I know it has been a bumpy road, but now you have two shops, and the rumor says that you're gonna do a little bit better. But I will not. I'll let you speak about it. So please tell us a little bit more. We are all excited. We also want to spread the word to see how we can, in our community, Avani community, to see how we can help and support and spread the word. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. So Thrift for Good, our mission is, one, to reduce waste, and two, to raise money for children's charity projects. So yes, we donate 100% of our profits to support children's charity projects around the world. We do that through Gulf for Good, which is a local nonprofit organization. So the project we're doing right now is an example. I'm very attached and moved by all of our projects, but this one is in Ethiopia. And essentially, it's just in Addis Ababa. It's with the Ray Foundation, and they have classrooms for children going up till grade 4. They have 400 students now, with a waiting list of about 10,000, which is crazy. And the expectation is after grade 4, those kids will go to public school, continue their education. But actually, they're finding the kids just drop out, which grade 4 is not going to help them very much getting out of poverty and having a better life. So we're raising 734,000 dirhams right now to build the grades up to grade 7, to hire more teachers. They have some unsafe facilities, their kitchen, etc. So we're going to renovate that to provide a safer space and more classrooms so they can increase their number of students as well. We're also, to bridge the gap between grade 7 to university, we're funding an after-school program to get them through. So hopefully it'll change lives of those kids. Hopefully we'll see improvements in the GDP, the economy of that little community in time, as kids can get more education and better jobs and send money into that community. So that's the real big goal, the long-term vision. But I'm so excited that right now what it means is more kids out of work, in school, having a daily meal, being safe, well looked after, and a brighter future. Yeah.
that's very noble. Yes.
Yeah.
Respect, yeah. So
Thank you.
well done with
Yeah.
that.
And just to add also, we're raising, I mean, it's modest in terms of business sense, but we're raising about 150,000 every single month for the kids. It's growing month on month. We've donated more than 3 million in the last 3.5 years. and it keeps growing. And for a child, it doesn't take much to make a big difference. 1,500, it's enough to sponsor a child for an entire year. And we're able to raise that in each one of our stores every single day. So I'm just so proud that the work of the community here in Dubai, all of these pre-loved clothes, it's translating into something really tangible for kids in need around the world.
So look, like yourself, I'm also a resident of Dubai, so we would love to help. And so for us to enter or to bring close to Thrift for Good, what are the steps required for us to?
Absolutely. So we make it as easy as possible. Anyone can bring anything they wear or anything they read to the store. So for men, women, children, clothes, shoes, bags, accessories, jewelry, in any condition. So essentially, just come visit our store with your bags, hand it over. It's a charitable contribution. We do give 10 dirham store credit just to say thank you. And that's it. We do appreciate if they're washed before they come. It makes the job easier for our volunteers. But that's it. Otherwise, you can support the cause by being mindful about your shopping. So if you're buying new, buying sustainable, staying away from the cheap polyester blends, carrying toxic materials and taking advantage of people, going to natural linens, cottons, etc., that are well made, meant to last, and then taking care of those clothes, being secondhand and never throwing them in the garbage. And we are also volunteer run. So we rely on people giving some of their time to come and help us to sort the donations, to sell them, to work in all those processes. Yeah. 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 So you can declutter, you can shop, and you can volunteer to make a change.
So, I mean, for my case scenario, I never put them in the bin. I just take them to the factory and I put them in a suitcase, and I have
Yeah.
like 14 workers in the factory. So then
Fantastic.
they all then take pictures. Oh, this is the jacket. This is the that you gave me. But wow, it's just amazing how easy it is to.
Yeah.
So definitely we'll do an awareness session with my team at the office
Thank
to
you.
let them know this. Okay, so then
I'll be very
what
happy
I
to
see
come and
that they have
collect.
kids of various ages, so I can see already the exchange is happening there for the clothes with between some of the ladies in the office.
Oh,
But
lovely.
yeah, we also try to see that some of the clothes that we wear order as uniform, they are made from recycled material, all
Yeah.
right, and then yeah. But I see more and more some of the schools here, some of the organizations that they have their clothing made of either recyclable, some compostable. I even seen,
Hmm.
one of our partners, which is Arbor School.
Hey, go Arbor. They're doing
Yeah,
great work.
so
Yeah.
yeah, they are one of the most sustainable schools that are, and those kids they come often to visit our facilities.
Ah.
So they have a great chef there that she does sustainable food in the cafeteria, in the canteen there for the students, and then they use all materials that they use as are as sustainable as possible. Yeah, so
Fantastic.
and that's what we need more of, like yourself, and yeah, so.
Absolutely. Those small shifts in terms of how we use, how we produce, it makes such a massive difference when they're accumulated. So we're happy to be part of that story and fashion and good packaging, thanks to Ivani. So
Thank you so much. Well, look, I think one of the reasons that we synergize so well, Thrift for Good and Avani, was that we have sustainable best business practices at the core of our function.
yeah.
And to give our example, so we went from only looking at electricity as one of the energy costs to we went from changing our logistics partner to somebody from one who did very little, because we have lots of goods being in storage. These delicate goods, they need AC temperature, but we were not just happy to go with somebody who had the cheaper rate. So we went to somebody who use solar, who use recycled gray water, who use some biodiesel in the organization, and they have lots of other sustainability practices. And I'm proud to say that RSA, one of our partners, for the last 3 years has been a great success story between us and them. We have awareness session with their colleagues. So that's one example on our case, but then we localize production here, so we further reduce the timelines and the carbon footprint. So we bring in more raw materials in bulk and we manufacture here. And hopefully in the near future, when the expansion is going to come, we will also have solar and other stuff
Hey.
that we use in our production unit. But yeah, in your case, what are some of those principles that drive the agenda for sustainability?
Absolutely. So yeah, we're lucky to have sustainability at our core in terms of fashion, but we also do apply it to every business practice we can. So the packaging of Annie bags, the I am not plastic bags, fantastic. Things like recycling, and teaching our team, teaching our volunteers to switch over to recycling, composting, being more mindful in those ways. In our space as well, when we do fit out, we go for secondhand or upcycled materials. I want your contact because we are about to open, our third, fourth, fifth store, and we want the fit out to be mindful about energy savings and better AC and hopefully solar panels one day and all of these things so we can be a leading example for how a business can be more sustainable. We also do offset our carbon emissions by planting trees. So we look into our different outputs as a business and really think it's our mission to reduce waste. It's worth investing in every single level, from big to small choices, and supporting. We choose suppliers who have those same values and mission in mind, so we can protect the environment in the best way through everything we do. Yeah.
Oh, that's very enlightening to
Uh,
hear. And then it's just it doesn't matter how big or small organization is. For me, if as long as you start with something, it becomes addictive, and then everybody on board, it becomes an advocate. And that's the success story of our business, I have to say. So we have done very little to no marketing, and biggest marketing is to be prompt with the product, to have a good quality product, of course, obviously, ethically sourced, but
yes.
also, as I give you examples, is also be there. So we work with from the smallest client and try to share with them the best practices to the largest client, actually, to share some of those best practices where we can reduce in quantities, where we can. I mean, all of a sudden I was sitting with one of our clients in their sustainability meeting because they think that I have enough expertise to advise them on certain things by working in Avani. So regardless of, and I learned so much from the trips. Sorry, my mind is just flying from one place to another. But
Of course.
the kids trips that they did at our factory, the 8, 9 years olds. I'm not a parent, but if you can manage to go through 3 or 4, why is that? You understand?
Yeah.
Then that gives you a lot of self satisfaction to say, yes, I really know about the subject. We really have something solid in place to say, because as innocent as a child is, all right. So their questions are straightforward. Yes, there is a plastic pollution. Yes, there is. So why do you try to convince me that there is a better solution than what it was before? And I think it starts with the little as that level knowledge, and then it goes up to so much more scientific approaches to things. And then we are committed to evolve the products. We are committed to share better practice, to constantly look for newer materials that are less sustainable. And like yourself, so if let's say in 2020, because we just passed 2023. In 2023, if our clients would have used, let's say, 40 million straws, because of us, we use 40% less of that. You understand? And
Fantastic. Yeah.
there's so many examples that we have from our portfolio, and thanks to clients like yourself and like others, the word went out. So.
Yeah, I know for me it was an obvious choice. Like you guys are leading this in the UAE, which is really exciting. And the innovations and things like your news today about your new products and things, it's
But
exciting. It makes it easier
I remember
as a business
one
here
of
to
our
switch.
first meetings that we had. It was in JLT, when we were in JLT,
Yeah.
and for me was always the status quo was this. Why a small organization such as yours, that is still a startup, because we are also a startup, and sometimes it's very difficult to support.
Yeah.
So you can support. How we supported others was by giving away certain products, by giving a better price, by turning it around. There is challenges along the way, but how a startup can commit to that,
Yeah.
and then how not a large organization, they have so much more resources, they are not yet willing to. And thanks to the private sector that they drove the agenda, and now for the last 4 or 5 years also the local authorities, I think we are in much better place, and I can see big movements coming up now. So with the new legislation and ban on plastic bags and then the styrofoam in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi. So yes, I think now we start to see the momentum, and hopefully in an instant you'll have 10 shops and so much demand,
Inshallah.
then we can. But in our interactions with other clients, definitely, I think one guilt I have and I feel now, and I have to confess here, is that we have to talk more about your Thrift for Good, because it's such an enlightening example and such a noble cause for what you
Thank
do.
you. Well, I'm glad to be here today. And I have to say, you helped us in the beginning. Like, we didn't have money to start, and you helped us being able to pay by installments so we could afford that first batch of bags. And then from there, it was like, this is a no-brainer. We have to. We have to have sustainable packaging, and it pays for itself in every way. So, yeah, thank you for
That's
helping us make that switch.
that's how it is, and I see from large organizations, because I give the examples before talking of the bag. We have one of our clients. They had a big construction company, and they give workers meals every day, two
Yeah,
bags with food.
beautiful. Yeah.
So he said to him, she said, Peter, what can I put in my 167 pages of sustainable reporting? So I said, why don't you look at our cassava bags to replace the plastic bags? 6 days a week is 12 bags. You use one of these little bags for the food and let them reuse the bag as many times as possible
Yeah.
until the bag is ready to, is biodegrades, is ready to compost. And by doing so, they had such a traction there, and then all this at the basic level, a construction worker, so
Yeah.
we managed to do such an awareness campaign. It was such a great idea. So why I highlight these examples, because in other organizations we have a portfolio. I will not name and shame here. One of the largest hotel chains in the world, for example, is in our portfolio. And what was interesting to see, because there are various 5-star hotel, 4-star hotels, 3-star hotels, and hotel apartments in their product range portfolio, hotels portfolio. But what was interesting to see, it was always the momentum started from the lowest star
Yeah.
organizations, which in my world is coming from a hospitality background. I know they have some of the smallest profit margins versus the 5-star hotels and so on. I'm not saying that the 5-star hotels they don't do, but I see these guys, they were so much faster to react, so much faster on board, and I think that's something which needs to change. So it's just I guess everybody must contribute. So
Yeah. Well, what an exciting year, the year of sustainability.
oh yeah.
I think everyone will be changing over soon, inshallah.
So Jennifer,
Yeah.
in your view, what do you think you could do better to inspire UAE, this world, all right? So
Mhm.
to be more sustainable, or to support such a cause. What in your view, if let's
Yeah.
say me and you, we go on a different planet and we have to educate those Samaritans, good Samaritans,
Yeah.
on hey, if you have to restart your life, how you can start it to be more ethical, more sustainable. And so what do you think, what you will say to such a crowd?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know for me, sustainability is about using less resources, is taking less from the planet and putting less into landfill, but having circular processes to respect the resources we have, right? As consumers, we can do our best to use less, to reuse, to recycle, to all of these things. But if the businesses we support don't provide those facilities, we're very limited in what we can do. And as business owners, we have a huge responsibility to make sure our products protect the planet, protect people. So it's not just about the profit margin, it's about the legacy we're leaving behind and being able to inspire our customers to have less of a footprint. So just building in those very small steps about using 40% less straws, which I don't know how long they take to degrade in the landfill, 400 years maybe or something, right? At these small steps, if you think about how many straws that is over 10 years of business, this is your legacy. If you can cut that down as a business owner, straws or cups or any of
Or
these
close the
resources,
same.
clothes, recycling, even to keep them out of these small changes in your business, they're worth the investment, not just for the reputation, but for your clients to be able to, leave their less of a footprint on the planet, and then your legacy as a business owner as well, what you're really doing other than profit to change the world. So it's so easy, but so effective, those small changes.
Why I now will say it now, because for me, even starts to the fact, in from my sporting days, how often you wash your gear.
Yeah.
much soap do you put? I mean,
Yeah.
can you rinse the clothes instead of softener with vinegar, for example? So which was my grandma's recipe. But I saw by doing that, the clothes was softer one, and then it was less foam. So it
Ah.
hurt me when you threw that bowl of water somewhere, and then all that foam goes in the drainage, and then you try to go fish in the river, and there is nothing
Yeah,
there.
and there's
But
the
no, I just
chemical.
had to mention this because it's just a couple of other things that it's just paradoxal how we are not doing that yet. So, and then it's so basic stuff. So
Yeah, and I think it's just a mind shift change, like I imagine when I'm trying to be zero waste in my own life. So, and when I started this journey, I just held on to my trash. I was like, okay, I'm not going to throw it for 2 weeks. Let's see how much there. And my God, it was embarrassing. It was really eye opening, and to think there is no way. We throw it, it doesn't go away. It goes into the landfill. It goes into polluting resources and things. Um, I'm rambling,
yeah, well,
but it's massive the
we
amount of waste
recently
we have.
refurbished our office, and then we had some bigger bins and so on before. And then one thing I made very small bins, and then I see the girls in the office. They used to bring packaging. So now I can see everybody's. Once we did some awareness sessions, everybody brings the food in the washable containers, and
Yeah.
so it's more. I see people all the less takeaway as well. So yeah, it's just small awareness sessions that one can do to make a difference.
Yeah, and making the sustainable choice the
One,
easiest choice.
one.
So yeah. Yeah, so thank you for making sustainability easy to find, easy to choose here. So the switch is much easier.
Great pleasure to have you here, and thank you. Way upwards and onwards. So to Thrift for Good. So wish you great success, and we look forward to engage with you even further and even more from now on.
Yes, and us as well. Thank you so much for your partnership. We're very proud to tell everyone about the beautiful I Am Not Plastic movement you've started here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.